What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my Ego Up Fantasy. Today we are looking at IEM Cologne 2022. Um, so I'll just go over the prices and such first. For Ego, pretty good looking prices. I would definitely not mind with this nice Deagle, cool AK. Yeah, and some product prices on top of those. Very nice prices, to be honest. Oh yeah, and there's if you're based in Sweden, there's some Swedish energy drinks that you can win as well. But yeah, unfortunately, not for anyone outside of Sweden. Um, General stuffs is just there's three different stages, so you'll get two wipe tokens because there's like playing group stage playoffs. Only two cells, so cells don't reset with each stage, and all the regular stuff apart from that. Really, nothing too special. But yeah, very good prices. Cool special price if you're based in Sweden, and then important to know the two vibes. Here we can see some of the players are available, and well, I'll get into that later. Here we have the matches for the playing stage. It's played over 2 days only. Starting tomorrow. They play all the first round matches, and then all of the upper bracket, and then a couple lower bracket games, I guess, and then on Wednesday a couple more lower bracket round 1, and then the decider matches basically. This is the bracket. Obvious favorites, Heroic here, and I'd say Vitality here. It's just the easiest like groups of 4 teams basically. I don't see Heroic lose. Heroic, even with the new edition of Yabi, I think are actually a kind of dark horse for this event. I don't think the inclusion of Yabi will take a long time to adjust for Heroic. I feel he's gonna fit quite well and make them just a slightly more solid team. Due to that, I think they shouldn't have trouble handling Sprout, Mouse, or Pain. On this side, I mean, Movistar just won the Valencia event, but still, I would say Vitality should always just make it cleanly through this. Here we have Big Order, the Outsiders, Imperial. So I would say Big is the favorite, but Outsiders have a good chance of going 2-0 as well. And here I would say the same thing with Spirit and Astralis. So either of them could go 2-0. I think it's a pretty coin flippy occasion here because of Spirit just adding Wonderful. If they were still playing with Dexter, I would probably say Spirit are favored. But now I would say Astralis probably favored. By the way, I will be making only one video of Ego Up because I think the videos for the upcoming stages would be kind of short. So I'll give you my thoughts on, well, the group stage and then the playoffs as well. Obviously, depending on how these matchups are seeded, I will be making my decisions on who I want to have in my lineup for the group stage and playoffs. However, I can still tell you who I think is gonna most likely make it through and make it to the finals. Navi is one of the favorites, definitely the favorite in this group, although it is a far tougher group than Group B. I would say G2 and ENCE both have decent chances if ENCE get back to form, if G2 can just get show like some glimpses of what they really have in terms of potential. And honestly, NIP playing with Hampus again, also a very decent team who could make a splash, but I think Navi might be too tough of an ask. Then Group B, FaZe are like the obvious favorites, although they have had their struggles as well after the major win. And then Cloud9 should be the second strongest team. I wouldn't be very surprised if they don't meet in the upper final. Unless there's some good teams that get paired against them. Whereas Liquid and Furia have been looking really bad. I can show you after I make my lineup how badly I did in ego up for Valencia, and then Liquid, the only shining light for them is the fact that Yekindar is standing in, and he's definitely the best player on that team right now. So maybe they can do something, but I have no real expectations. And then going into the playoffs or the single elimination bracket, I would probably say FaZe make it. Probably Cloud9, Navi, G2, or maybe ENCE, one of these two teams making it to the playoffs. Could also be like a Vitality or a Heroic making it there. Even a Big could make it, in my eyes. But yeah, those are my short and sweet thoughts about how I feel this event should go. Of course, there's actually really good chances for a lot of teams. I don't think there's any one clear favorite. I wouldn't say FaZe and Navi are like super far ahead of everyone else. I would say at least NIPG to ENCE, Cloud9, Heroic, and Vitality all have pretty good chances of winning this event. So that makes it very exciting to watch. There's definitely upsets that are most likely going to happen. But let's get into picking my team for this stage. So, because of the way the plane works, a permanently benched player is probably my best bet. There's I don't see a real reason to have a substitution between days. Most likely, I am just gonna pick players from teams who go 2-0, or that's at least my aim, and then they basically just don't play on day 2 and they just get the point padding for that, which is fine. So that's what I'm kind of going to aim for. But in this kind of format where basically good teams to pick from, there's a lot of them. So like there's like basically 4 teams who are going to go 2-0. So all players from those teams are going to be like high value picks. I don't have to go like 2-2-2. And also I should kind of go for picks from teams that are maybe, or just undervalued players is what kind of my thinking here. But first off, just the cheapest player as my permanently benched player, FNX here. I don't see a real reason not to do that. But yeah, who are some undervalued players at least? And then because of this permanently benched player, we can probably afford some of the super high value picks like Blamaf and Zaiwu, maybe Staven. But first off, who's like undervalued? Searson is kind of undervalued because of but and then again he's kind of an online player, so maybe not the best pick here. All of the outsiders players are generally just super undervalued. I would say just like Valencia, I don't understand. So where is Jame? Jame is not this shouldn't be this cheap. Just straight up 143 grand is so little for him. I have to say I don't want to skip Jame in this event. The thing is that it's a bit of an open pairing here, Big and Outsiders, and even if Outsiders lose to Big, it's not the end of the world because Outsiders still get to play the lower bracket games and get some more points, maybe even from that, as long as Jame is playing well. Who else could be a value pick? So Dupree for 154 looks very good. The thing with Heroic, so Heroic is also... Cadian is actually so cheap as well. There's a lot of cheap options, but like right now we should be able to afford some of the more expensive players already. We can actually just afford all 3, Zaiwu, Storm, and Blamaf, if we go for these 2 as well, Cadian and Jame. I mean, Jame just has to be a pick for 143, I mean. Blamaf is just so insane lately, and also they have pretty easy matchups apart from maybe Spirit. But Blamaf is just such a solid pick overall. Staven and Cadian, yeah, I like the idea of that. There's no real, like, who else would I like to have from the expensive players? No one really. Like, the thing is, yeah, I think this is just good. Like, Jaime is very undercosted. Cadian, like, the thing with Heroic is that they're all gonna play fine, mostly. Most of the time they all just play fine. And then Staven is, like, putting up stats. There is a reason to go for, like, instead of Cadian, you could go Dupree. Because Dupree is still, like, probably the second highest rated player for Vitality. Apart from Zaiwu. Maybe I like Dupree more than Cadian. At least for this. There's no like Varlig for 153, that's pretty decent. Yabi for 159. There's so many good options here. Like the thing is that having one permanently benched player is always going to be a pretty nice edge in terms of which kinds of players you can get on your team. Interesting that Yabi is this inexpensive as well. But I don't want to skip Jaime for 143. Like, that's what I'm kind of contemplating, is should I just not have Jaime because I want to have like more players from Heroic? But no, I think Jaime makes sense. Just for the price. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with this. So with the like, I won't use any cells here. I will probably be using my 2 cells in either the group stage or the playoff stage. I mean, I will be using them in one of these because I don't think it makes sense to sell here. But yeah, I'll go with this. First matchup. Which team has the easiest first matchup? It's not Outsiders. Vitality have Tyloo. I mean, that's probably the one, right? Astralis have Double O Nation. I mean, I think it's Vital. I think we just captain Zaiwu. You could also captain Blamaf or Staven, don't get me wrong, but I think this is the one. This is the one I want to go for. But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. As I said, I could actually show you how badly I did here. So straight after Furia lost their first match and they went into day 2, I just sold my 2 Movistar players and just gambled on Furia basically, because if Furia made it to, well, wait, so not, where's like past, finished, not Impact, Challenger, Valencia. So if Furia actually got second in this group, they would have played Movistar here in the semis. So I would have, like how I envisioned it is that Furia just wins against, I think it was Double O Nation, and then they win against Sprout, and then they win against Movistar, and then they win against Outsiders, and then it actually could be a good gamble to go for 4x Furia, even though I also wasted a good amount of money because these players were just more expensive than Art and Safe. However, Furia just lost to Double O Nation, and this went completely down the dumps. We're probably super far below, below what we could have gotten. Unfortunate that it went that way, but I think it was a good gamble to do because I didn't see myself winning the event apart from doing that. That was the only thing. But this just basically like makes it clear to me how bad the how bad Furia are just right now. By the way, I think I've used my like wrong OBS setup. This all is gonna be fine, but maybe on the play, on the Ego app website, it doesn't look as nice as usually. So I'm sorry for that. I just had my like HLTV settings on my video capturing stuff, but hopefully you were still able to follow whatever choices I made and such. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this kind of content, remember to leave a like and subscribe. I will be posting HLTV Fantasy pretty much right after this, so stay tuned for that. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.